All right, imagine this for a second. You wake up, check your phone, and instead of the same old slab, you unfold it into basically a mini iPad. Yeah, that's the reality Apple's been quietly building towards. And now it's not even a rumor anymore, it's happening. We've got dummy units floating around, display production already kicking off, and even Mark Gurman dropping confirmations like it's just another Tuesday. So yeah, Apple's first foldable iPhone? Very real. The only question now is, what exactly are we getting? Because this thing might not even be called Fold. There's a real chance Apple goes with Ultra instead, which honestly sounds very Apple. Either way, today we're breaking down everything that actually matters. When it's coming, how much it's going to hurt your wallet, and whether it can go head-to-head with something like the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. Now, timing first, the current expectation is 2026, landing alongside the iPhone 18 lineup. And yeah, we've heard early dates before, but this time feels different. When production of displays has already started and Gurman's talking publicly, that's usually Apple saying, okay, we're locked in. That said, don't expect it right away in September. There's a strong chance Apple does its usual iPhone launch and then holds this back till December. Which honestly makes sense. This is a first-gen product, and Apple will want it perfect before putting it in people's hands. Now let's talk price, because this is where things get a little painful. Right now, most analysts are circling around the $2,000 mark, basically right in line with Samsung's foldables. Maybe Apple undercuts that slightly, but realistically, this is Apple's first foldable packed with brand new tech. They're not going cheap. And the wild part is, it might not even matter. Some predictions say Apple could grab over 20% of the foldable market in year one alone, just because it's an iPhone. That ecosystem pull is no joke. Design-wise, picture this: two super thin iPhones fused together. Clean, flat edges, very minimal, very Apple. There are hints that it'll borrow heavily from the Air design language. Lightweight, refined, almost futuristic. Materials could get interesting too. Instead of going all in on one metal, Apple might mix titanium and aluminum. That's something we haven't really seen from them before, especially on an iPhone. And here's a weird detail. All the buttons might sit on one side. Power, volume, everything. It'll likely be eSIM only as well, no SIM tray at all. Unlocking is still up in the air. There's talk of Touch ID making a comeback, which would be kind of wild after all these years. But Face ID could still win out depending on how they solve the engineering. Now the thickness. This is where Apple might flex a little. Unfolded, it's rumored to be insanely thin, possibly even thinner than the iPhone Air. For comparison, the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 sits around 4.2 millimeters when open. So Apple's aiming right at that ultra-thin territory. And based on leaked dummy units, this isn't a tall, narrow foldable, it's wide, more like a small tablet when opened, which is honestly the better direction for usability. Speaking of that, let's get into the displays, because this is the whole point. Inside, you're looking at around a 7.8-inch screen. That's basically iPad mini territory. On the outside, somewhere between 5.3 and 5.5 inches. Slightly on the smaller side, which could be a concern for quick one-handed use. The inner panel will almost definitely come from Samsung Display. And yeah, they're the best at this right now, but here's the part that could genuinely change everything. Apple is going after the crease, like really going after it. We're talking a liquid metal hinge, reinforced glass, and a new display bonding process using optically clear adhesive combined with variable thickness glass. The goal? Make the crease basically disappear. If they actually pull that off, that's huge. Because right now, every foldable still reminds you it's folding. Cameras are a bit less exciting though. Don't expect full Pro Max vibes here. The current leaks point to dual 48-megapixel rear cameras and two front-facing cameras around 18 megapixels, so more iPhone Air level than top-tier flagship. Which makes sense. Space inside a foldable is tight. Performance-wise, it'll be whatever Apple's latest chip is at the time, probably a 20 or A20 Pro. Expect at least 12 gigabytes of RAM and storage starting at 256 gigabytes. Battery though, this could be a big win. Rumors suggest somewhere between 5,000 and 5,500 milliampere hours, which would make it the biggest battery ever in an iPhone. And with a device this size, it kind of has to be. On the software side, Apple's reportedly building iOS 27 with proper foldable features. Think real multitasking, app resizing, more iPad-style workflows, not just stretched apps, actual usability improvements. And according to Gurman, Apple's main pitch boils down to 4 things: durability, performance, a nearly invisible crease, and proper multitasking. Now here's the honest take. Apple is late to this. Samsung's been doing this for years. Google's getting better with every generation. Chinese brands are pushing crazy hardware at insane speed. But at the same time, this is Apple. When they enter a category, they don't just want to compete, they want to redefine it. So it all comes down to execution. If the hinge feels solid, if the crease really is barely visible, and if the software actually makes use of that big screen, then yeah, this could be the foldable that finally makes sense for a lot of people. But if it ends up being just an iPhone that folds for $2,000, that's a much tougher sell. So now I'm curious, if this drops exactly like the leaks suggest, are you buying it day one or waiting for Apple to figure it out with version 2? Either way, this is one of those products that could shift the entire smartphone market overnight. And you already know the second Apple makes it official, we're going all in on the breakdown, so stick around. This is just getting started.